Hey everyone, welcome back to Plot Unlocked. Did Toy Story 5 just deliver one of the most emotional endings in the entire franchise? After years of adventures with Woody, Buzz, Jessie, and the rest of the gang, Pixar's latest sequel doesn't just tell another Toy Story, it tackles a surprisingly modern problem that every family can relate to. This time, the biggest threat isn't an evil toy or a dangerous adventure. It's the growing role technology plays in children's lives. As Bonnie becomes increasingly attached to her new tablet, Jessie finds herself fighting harder than ever to prove that toys still matter. But what begins as a simple conflict soon evolves into a powerful story about friendship, connection, and finding balance in a rapidly changing world. The ending of Toy Story 5 is packed with emotional moments, major character developments, and some fascinating revelations about how the Toy Story universe actually works. It also leaves the door wide open for future movies, raising some big questions about what's next for these beloved characters. So what really happened at the end of Toy Story 5? What was the true message behind the film? And how does Pixar set up the future of the franchise? Let's break it all down. One of the most interesting aspects of Toy Story 5 is how its ending leaves the future of the franchise wide open. Unlike previous entries that often felt like definitive conclusions, this film ends with new beginnings for several characters, creating plenty of opportunities for future adventures. The story centers on Jessie and Lily's efforts to help Bonnie make friends. While Lily's original plan ultimately backfires and causes unexpected problems, the journey leads to something far more meaningful. Through a chance encounter connected to Jessie's former home, Bonnie meets a young girl named Blaze. By the end of the film, the two have become close friends, creating a new dynamic that could serve as the foundation for future stories. The ending also sees Woody continuing the path he chose at the end of Toy Story 4, rather than returning permanently to Bonnie's room. He heads back into the wider world alongside Bo Peep, helping lost and abandoned toys find new purpose. However, the film makes it clear that Woody hasn't completely separated himself from his old friends. Thanks to the walkie-talkie system introduced during the story, communication between Woody and the rest of the gang remains possible, making future reunions easier than ever. Beyond the returning characters, Toy Story 5 introduces a larger world filled with new children, new toys, and new possibilities. The film also explores an unexpected idea. Technology and toys don't necessarily have to be enemies. By the conclusion, the story suggests that modern technology can work alongside toys rather than replace them, opening the door for entirely new kinds of characters and adventures in future installments. Taken together, these developments make Toy Story 5 feel less like a final chapter and more like the beginning of a new era for the franchise, ensuring that Woody, Jessie, Buzz, and their friends still have plenty of stories left to tell. Toy Story 5 doesn't just continue the story of these beloved characters. It also answers two surprisingly important questions about the franchise's lore while delivering some of its most emotional moments. One of the film's biggest revelations centers on Jessie and her original owner, Emily. Fans will remember Emily from Toy Story 2, where her gradual separation from Jessie, as she grew older, became one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the entire series. In Toy Story 5, Jessie unexpectedly returns to her old neighborhood and is flooded with memories of the girl who once loved her so dearly. Although Emily and her family no longer live there, Jessie discovers an old lunchbox buried near the tree where they used to play together. Inside are photographs showing Emily as an adult, revealing that she eventually became a mother herself. Even more touching is the revelation that she named her daughter after Jessie. The discovery provides Jessie with something she has been missing for years: proof that she remained an important part of Emily's life long after they were separated. It's a beautiful and bittersweet moment that finally brings closure to one of the franchise's longest-running emotional storylines. The film also sheds new light on another long-standing question within the Toy Story universe through its humorous Buzz Lightyear subplot. Throughout the movie, a group of Buzz toys remain convinced that they are genuine space rangers searching for Star Command. However, when one of them is eventually separated from the others and taken home by a family, something interesting happens. Rather than resisting his new reality forever, the Buzz toy gradually accepts his role as a child's toy. While this transformation happens quietly in the background, it reveals an important truth about the Toy Story world. Unlike the original Buzz in Toy Story, who struggled to accept reality, many toys appear capable of adapting far more quickly once they experience the love and connection that comes from being played with. Together, these two storylines answer major questions about both Jessie's past and the nature of toys themselves, adding new depth to the Toy Story universe while reinforcing the series' core themes of love, purpose, and belonging. One of the most surprising aspects of Toy Story 5 is how it completely subverts its apparent villain setup. For much of the movie, it seems as though Pixar is building toward a classic conflict between traditional toys and modern technology, with Bonnie's tablet, Lily, positioned as the story's main antagonist. At first, Lily certainly appears to fit that role. She frequently dismisses Jessie and the other toys, believes she knows what's best for Bonnie, and views her own capabilities as superior to theirs. This creates the impression that the film is heading toward a showdown where toys must prove their value against the growing influence of technology. However, the story ultimately takes a much more nuanced approach. As the film progresses, it becomes clear that Lily isn't acting out of selfishness or malice. Like Jessie, she genuinely wants what's best for Bonnie. Her attempts to help may be misguided, but her intentions are sincere. When Lily realizes that the girls she encouraged Bonnie to befriend are actually making her unhappy, she is overwhelmed with guilt and even attempts to remove herself from Bonnie's life entirely. This leads to one of the film's most important moments. Rather than treating Lily as an enemy, Jessie recognizes that they have been working toward the same goal all along. Both want Bonnie to be happy, accepted, and surrounded by people who care about her. Their conflict was never really about good versus evil. It was about different perspectives on how to help someone they both love. Jessie undergoes her own growth as well. Throughout much of the film, she views technology as a threat to toys and fears that devices like Lily are replacing the role toys once played in children's lives. However, her interactions with older technology, belonging to Blaze, help her realize that technology and toys don't have to compete with each other. In the end, Toy Story 5 delivers a thoughtful message about the role of technology in modern childhood. The film argues that technology isn't a villain, a monster, or a perfect solution to every problem. Like toys, it's simply a tool that can bring comfort, joy, creativity, and connection when used in the right way. Rather than choosing one over the other, the movie embraces the idea that both toys and technology can coexist, making its ending one of the franchise's most mature and surprisingly relevant conclusions. One of the sweetest parts of Toy Story 5 is how it finally resolves the franchise's longest-running romantic subplot between Buzz Lightyear and Jessie. Ever since they first met in Toy Story 2, the series has hinted at their feelings for one another, with later films often using Buzz's crush on Jessie for comedic moments. This time, however, the relationship takes a major step forward. Throughout the movie, Buzz repeatedly tries to find the perfect moment to propose to Jessie, leading to several funny and heartfelt scenes. During the film's climax, Jessie finally realizes what Buzz has been trying to do all along and responds by kissing him, confirming that she shares his feelings. The relationship becomes even more official during Bonnie and Blaze's playtime, when the two children marry Buzz and Jessie as part of their game. It's a charming moment that gives fans long-awaited payoff, while showing how much both characters have grown over the course of the franchise. Best of all, the romance never overshadows Jessie's main story. Instead, it serves as a sweet, emotional reward that helps move the characters forward while keeping the focus on the film's larger themes of friendship, belonging, and growing up. At its heart, Toy Story 5 is a story about finding purpose through the connections we make with others. Throughout the film, Jessie struggles with feelings of self-doubt, believing that she failed Bonnie and that she no longer mattered to Emily. However, her journey teaches her that the impact we have on someone's life doesn't disappear just because time has passed. With the help of her friends, Jessie comes to understand that her bond with Emily will always be meaningful. Lily undergoes a similar transformation. At first, she believes she can solve Bonnie's problems on her own and dismisses the value of the other toys. But once she learns to trust and work alongside Jessie, she becomes far more effective at helping Bonnie find genuine happiness and friendship. The group of Buzz Lightyear toys also reflects this theme. After spending much of the film searching for a greater mission, they eventually discover that their true purpose comes from bringing joy to children. This realization leads to the film's uplifting mid-credits scene, where they eagerly head toward a playground filled with new possibilities. Ultimately, Toy Story 5 argues that purpose isn't something we find alone. Whether it's toys, technology, or people, Meaning comes from the relationships we build and the positive impact we have on one another. By embracing those connections, the characters find renewed confidence, belonging, and love, giving the film a warm emotional message that perfectly fits the spirit of the Toy Story franchise. And that's the ending of Toy Story 5 Explained. From Jessie's emotional journey and Buzz and Jessie's long-awaited romance to Lily's surprising redemption and the movie's powerful message about purpose and connection, Toy Story 5 delivers one of the most heartfelt endings in the franchise. But what do you think? Did you enjoy Toy Story 5's ending? Do you want Pixar to make a Toy Story 6? Or do you think this should be the final chapter? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to Plot Unlocked, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest movie breakdowns, ending explanations, and Pixar updates. Thanks for watching, and remember, no matter how much the world changes, the people and toys we care about always leave a lasting impact. See you in the next video!